Where's the Barry Goldwater to walk over and tell Richard Nixon it was over, to tell Donald Trump it was over? And now the question is, do Democrats need to do the same thing of Joe Biden?
MSNBC host Joe Scarborough is not having a good day after President Joe Biden's pretty disastrous debate with former president and convicted felon Donald Trump. I mean, if you watch that debate, it was painful, okay? Now, Scarborough, along with many other establishment figures, are now, as a result, sounding the alarm on Biden and basically asking him, in some cases begging him, please step down and let somebody else take on Donald Trump. Like, the stakes are very, very high, or too high to allow Biden to continue running. Now, Joe further goes into his reasoning in this next clip.
Donald Trump lied over and over and over and over again. And Joe Biden couldn't respond to any of those lies. In fact, as the New York Times said, he spent much of the night with his mouth agape and his eyes darting back and forth. He couldn't fact check anything Donald Trump said. And not only that, he missed one layup after another after another. He couldn't respond effectively to Donald Trump trying to overthrow American democracy on January 6th. He couldn't respond effectively to Donald Trump's continued stream of lies about his own record. And he couldn't even respond effectively on the issue of abortion, where for some reason he darted wildly to the issue of immigration.
Okay, so now you might be like, okay, Morning Joe, like, who cares? Well, it turns out Joe Biden cares, because that's one of his, if not his favorite show. He calls Joe Scarborough all the time to talk to him about policy positions. Again, one of his favorite, if not his most favorite cable news show that they all pay attention to in the White House. If you've lost Joe Scarborough, that is huge. All right, that is huge. So now, getting back to the idea of Trump, yes, he is a pathological liar. Now, there's a couple things that you can do when you're debating Donald Trump. You can either shut them down, or you can focus on your own record, or you could do both if you're really talented, right? President Biden, during that debate, was not able to do any of that, okay? So now, the thing is, can Biden govern? Yeah, he can govern. That's not the issue here, okay? The issue here is not, can they govern when they get into office? Yes, he can, but it's getting into office that is the question here, okay? Can he inspire turnout to people to turn out who are not already committed Democrats? Because committed Democrats are already going to show up, but you're going to need undecided voters, you're going to need independent voters, and they're going to be the ones that are going to determine whether or not he actually gets another 4 years to govern. And so performances like that, at a time where a lot of voters are actually concerned about his age and his mental acuity, I'm not so sure. Again, this is not about turning out Democrats. He can do that. He needs independents. He needs young people. He needs progressives. He needs people who are, uncommitted voters. And there's a lot of Democrats that are concerned that he's not going to be able to do that as a result of this. And not just a result of this one debate, okay? That's one single debate performance that's bad is not, it's not where this is coming from. This is just the newest example of issues where Biden is not as sharp as he was before, okay? And where people are very concerned that, like, hey, he might be a little too, old. And again, that's not me saying it. That's people who are polled, okay? People who are asked, who are Democratic voters, likely voters, hey, do you think Joe Biden is too old? And they're like, yeah, a majority of them do say that. So now, that said, more Democrats that are talking about this. MSNBC anchor Nicole Wallace reported that conversations have been happening within Biden's inner circle during the debate that ranged from whether he should be in the race tomorrow morning to what was wrong with him. Now, he says, well, I was having a cold. Oh, okay. Well, that explains the scratchy voice, but I don't know, did the cold medicine, did you take anything for it? Did it knock you out before the debate or what? Because, I mean, again, not good. Now, Kate Bedingfield, who was Biden's White House communications director from 2021 to 2023, here's what she said. Quote, "It was a really disappointing debate performance from Joe Biden. And I think there's any other way to slice it. His biggest issue was to prove to the American people that he had the energy, the stamina, and he didn't do that." Now, funny enough, after the debate, he did a rally, and he actually sounded a lot more energetic. Why couldn't he do that during the debate? Now, two Democratic operatives, when asked, they responded with images when asked to describe their feelings about Joe Biden. Quote, "Prominent Democrat pollsters sent a photo of a baseball coach tapping his arm to signal the need for a pitching change. Got to really look at bringing someone in," said the pollster, who, like virtually all Democrats who spoke to HuffPost, requested anonymity for professional reasons. Second Democratic strategist responded with a gif of a suicidal anime character. Jeez. A third Democratic strategist described the debate as, quote, "John Fetterman debate level bad, but somehow worse." Referring, of course, to Fetterman's debate after he had had a stroke. Oof. A Democrat running in a swing house seat also said they wanted Biden to withdraw from the race, citing concerns about his lack of energy, lack of mental acuity, and an election with too much at stake, namely democracy. That is, that is the concern, right? There is so much at stake to be, playing around with somebody who might not be up to the challenge, okay? Now, another unnamed member of the House Democratic caucus wrote this to Politico, quote, "I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue." Ooh. Now, these are Democrats, staffers, strategists, pollsters, insiders. These are not leftists, okay? These are not people who, had warned about this for a long time, okay? Primaries, even before, right? 2020. And were ignored by the same people who are now in a panic, okay? Leftists were like, I don't think Biden's the man, all right? I don't think that he should run again. And by the way, he ran, with normalcy and won in 2020. And we all thought that was going to be okay. You're going to get us back on the right track. And then we're going to actually have a primary that's competitive and get some younger voices in there. No, didn't happen. Biden's like, I'm going to run again. What? No. Why? What are you doing? And of course, it went unchallenged by the same people whose hair is on fire now. And going, oh my God, we didn't see this one coming. Really? Really? We saw it coming. Adam Johnson points out, this revolt is from the most normie, sober centrist Dems. These aren't haters or nihilists or crypto Republicans. The only delineation is normie Dems who seem to want to win, or versus normie Dems who are drooling Biden loyalists, or more likely, playing to the dead-ender blue wave crowd. Wow. Brutal. Dave Weigel points out, leave Biden aside, elderly alien Dems just refusing to go risk the death of ACA, that's Kennedy, killed Roe, Ginsburg, and really helped ours in SCOTUS wars, Feinstein. Yeah, remember how they held on to Dianne Feinstein, even though she was clearly losing her mental faculties. And yet, we had the same talk of, no, she's fine. You guys are just being sexist and ageist. Wait, hold on. No, this isn't about her, being a woman. This doesn't have anything about, this has everything to do with the ability to serve in office. And again, immediately dismissed. And now the same people who dismissed that are now, oh my God, Joe Biden, he might not be the guy after all. Oh, dear God. When you have so many in your own party that are saying, hold on, we may need to pull the chute, you might want to consider it with everything that is at stake. Especially when you have these kinds of polls. Look at that. Again, the numbers in 2020 were already disastrous when it comes to necessary mental and physical health. And now it's even worse. And competent and effective, before bad, now even worse. this is a serious issue, okay? This is a bit of a what's going to happen? Well, we already know what's going to happen. All this talk is of replacing Joe Biden is essentially moot. He's not going anywhere. New, as just reported on CNN, not only does POTUS not plan to drop out, Biden remains committed to a second debate in September. Now, who knows? Maybe he can recover on that one. Certainly, definitely needs to. But I do want to make sure to go on the record here that if Donald Trump wins this election, which I hope he does not, I don't think there's going to be a question as to why. Okay, they can blame the left as much as they want, and I know that that's probably the most likely scenario, right? Blame the left, blame young people, blah blah blah, for not showing up and doing this, right? But no, this would be one of the reasons. Okay, but let me just say that if I'm wrong, which I hope I am, I hope I'm wrong. I will happily admit and say, oh boy, I was so wrong. I was worried about nothing. Well, that would be great. That would be great. I would love to be wrong. I've never hoped so hard to be wrong about this because it looks like one way or another, Joe Biden is going to continue rolling into that convention. He's going to be the Democratic nominee, and he's going to go up against Donald Trump. And God help us for what happens afterwards, because there's only two things that will happen: either Joe Biden wins, or we all lose. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.